big change. As you all pretty know, last year was a difficult season for our team. It was obviously called something different, and we had a lot more people working for us last year. But a very interesting winter. You know, a lot of us thought that we wouldn't be racing in 2009, so it sort of cheated us up in a way, and everybody's working so hard. Everybody has been working so hard over the winter. We have produced the car that is magnificent to drive and also to work on. So when Mercedes-Benz came along and said, well, we'll give you our engine, we'll put it in the back of your car, we're obviously very happy, and everything sort of fitted together very well, and we've won 6 of the 8 races this year, so it's been quite a good season so far. Thank you very much.
I must say you're looking at a lot more brightly as you're going around the paddock.
Not drinking anymore, that's why, I'm serious.
Well, quickly, just a quick rundown about what you're doing here today, and then we're going to go into the fact of how you got started in motorsport.
So what's the first bit?
First bit, tell everybody what you're doing here today, what you're driving up the hill.
Okay, normally I've been here since 2000 when I started in Formula 1. But this year's the first year I'm actually driving my previous year's F1 car. This year I'm driving a Mercedes-Benz from 1934, 76 years old, 75 years old, and it's a 4-litre engine, 350 horsepower, 700 kilograms beast, and it's just beautiful. It's a work of art, this car. The only problem with it is the throttle and the brake are the other way around. So yeah, so the throttle's in the middle of the car and the brake's on the right-hand side. So it makes it quite difficult. You know, it's fine if nothing goes wrong, but if something goes wrong, I'm screwed. I'm in the wall. It's going very fast. That's the only problem. But it's great to drive such a car. It's the first of the Silver Arrow. It's the first one to win a race. This actual car I'm driving. So it's worth quite a bit of money. So if I do crash it, you won't see me again.
And you love your car. And basically, this scheme, Going On to Motorsport scheme, is all about getting young drivers into karting, because obviously that's the grassroots of motorsport. Everyone sees you and Lewis Hamilton on the TV and thinks, you know what, I want to do that, I want to race cars. They don't quite understand that they go through the ranks, you go through karting, and you step up the ranks into Formula 1, you can't just be there. How did you start out?
Well, I started out driving around a pub car park. Little did I know I'd spend many a day. Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't. But I got given a go-kart. I was very lucky, actually. My father bought me a go-kart when I was 7. I was quite a lively child, and I got bored of everything very quickly. So he got me a go-kart. We went to an airfield. A little zip car, actually. I went to an airfield, and after half an hour, I was like, Dad, I'm bored. And he said, okay, well, we'll take you to a circuit. Took me to a circuit, same reaction. And he put me into a race, and I was hooked. You know, competing and winning was just such a buzz for me. So, you know, I was lucky that we were able to afford to get into karting. It was amazing how much it cost. You know, my dad lost a lot of money very quickly. And when I was 14 years old, I was lucky enough to get a manager and a team that paid for everything for me. So, you know, my dad couldn't afford to run me anymore, and he wasn't involved anymore. I was just looked after by this, originally in an Italian team, and then I moved to a Belgian team. So I've raced for a lot of teams, but not many British teams in go-karting. But I spent 10, 11 years in go-karts. And it's the best way to find your racecraft. I still drive the same way now as I did when I was in cadets, you know, in the same style of driving. You know, I've always tried to be as smooth as I possibly can. For me, it looks after the car very well. It didn't help me at Silverstone when it was so cold, but most of the time it helps me. So yeah, I've gained a lot of experience from go-karting, and it's great that now people, not just drivers, but people that want to get involved in motorsport have more of an opportunity, and also they're helped in you know, pointed in the right direction, whereas we didn't have a clue what we were doing in the first few years of racing. So that's, you know, it's a great initiative, and I think it's good to be a part of it.
Obviously, as you said, you are a very experienced driver. What other advantages do you think that you gain from karting that gives you the advantage over other drivers in your category? Obviously, you want that stuff at the moment, definitely.
You know, most drivers that I'm racing against have raced in cars. And I've raced against a few of them in karts as well. And, you know, my heroes when I was karting were Jarno Trulli, and Giancarlo Fisichella, and I'm racing against both of them now. And so, you know, I learned a lot in karting, and the racecraft is the one thing that you need to learn at an early age, and also speed. I mean, when you get into a car when you're 20 years old and you haven't driven anything before, it takes a long time to learn, and maybe you're never going to learn it because you have fear. But when you're 8 years old, 9 years old, you're fearless. You know, it's like when you go skiing and you see the little kids going down the ski slopes twice as fast as you. It's the same sort of thing. You pick it up so quickly when you're young. And that was from the driving aspect of it to the racecraft of racing with other people, but also working with the car, because my father always wanted me to get involved with that a bit. Wasn't interested at all to start with, but it is important to get involved in the mechanical setup of a car, because you know, it's not exactly the same as a racing car because you've got suspension with a racing car and what have you, but it gives you an understanding of what you're driving, and an understanding of an engine. You know, my father used to rebuild engines, and he won multiple British championships in karting, and he used to get me in there stripping the engines down so I could understand an engine, so I knew exactly how it worked. And I think it's important to know that when you're actually driving it, because you can feel and you can hear what's going on. So, yeah. I learned a lot in my 11 years of karting, and I raced against some of the best drivers in the world when I was racing in karts, and I moved to Formula 4, to Formula 3, which were great fun and very competitive, but for me, my last year in karting, in '97 in Super A, in the European and the World Championship, was the most competitive category I've been in before Formula 1, for sure. You know, the driving standard is just above all low categories in car racing, I think, and I've got some great memories from back then.
Brilliant. Just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to come down here. Congratulations so far this season. I know everyone out there is rooting for you, and hopefully to carry on and do so much better for the rest of it. As the second British winner for a very long time. Thank you.